Let's set up our development environment. Make sure you have downloaded the Node.js. You can download Node.js from nodejs.org/en/downloads. I already installed Node.js on my machine. I can show you my version. I'm currently using 22.16. Next step, you need to install the Docker desktop. For Postgres related, we're gonna use Docker to install the Postgres. If you don't have Docker, I want you to install the Docker from the official website. For me, Docker is working now. You need to download the Docker desktop. After installing Docker, we need Postgres. When you go to the Docker Hub, you can search images. I can find that Docker Hub. We need to install the Postgres image. If I search the Postgres, you will find the Postgres image. So we need to install that. I'm using the Postgres 14. So you can pull that Postgres 14 or you can pull the latest version. To start the Postgres instance, you need this command. Let's say I'm going to teach you how can you pull the Postgres image. You need docker pull. Open your terminal and execute this command docker pull. Let's provide the tag, which is version, which is 14. I have installed Postgres 14 on my machine. When I go to the Docker desktop, you should see this one, the Postgres image. But I think I don't have any specific version. That is why it is installing the specific version, the Postgres 14. If you want to go with latest version, you can also install the latest version, or let's say 17.6 is the latest version. Let's try to use that. Get rid of this one, docker pull. I can say that Postgres 17.6. It will take some time to install the latest version. A new Postgres image has been downloaded. I can double check that from the Docker. Here you can see the 16.6. I already installed 14, so you can use the latest version. If you want to run the Postgres image, what you want to do, you can start the Postgres server by using this command docker run. I want to run my image as a container. I can say that nest Postgres. You can choose any name. Here you should provide your password. Postgres password. You can provide any password. I can provide, let's say, Postgres. Here our port, by default Postgres works on 5432, so I can map container port to my host machine for 5432, and I want to run as a container. Let's provide my image, Postgres 17.6. Now it's gonna set up the Postgres. -d I used for only background. When I go to the container, my nest Postgres container is running now. You can double check that. So instead of downloading the Postgres manually, it's easy to install Postgres if you have a Docker. Our next goal is to install Prisma globally. Prisma dependency has installed. Our next step is to install NestJS CLI. We're gonna use VS Code. If you don't have a VS Code, I want you to install the VS Code. I'm gonna use that editor. Get rid of everything. I'm gonna create a new window. Nest CLI has been created. I'm gonna use a couple of extension. Make sure you have installed ESLint. You should install this one, ESLint and Prettier. I installed that. If you have Prisma, you should also install the Prisma. I'm gonna install this library, Prisma. Let's discuss our project architecture. We're gonna use Postgres, Prisma ORM, and NestJS. As I told you, we're gonna build project management type application backend. We're gonna cover these modules or these features. We will have a users module, auth modules, teams modules, projects modules, and tasks module. When you have clear architecture or clear module, you will not get confused when designing your application. A users module will have profile feature, role should be admin and the member. We will have auth module. Auth module will handle authentication plus refresh tokens, or if you want to implement cookie based authentication, we're going to use that. Then we will have a teams module. Each team has members called users. We will have projects module, which belongs to a team. Then we will have a task module. Task modules belongs to project assigned to users. We're going to have one-to-many relationship between users and teams, and one team can belong to many projects, and one project can have many tasks, and each task can be assigned to one user. I can also show you with the help of diagram.io, but just I want to show you with the simple way. We're gonna have this type of folder structure like auth, users, teams, projects, task, and we will have common folder for guards, interceptors, and DTOs. Then we will have a database for Prisma service and migration related code. This is just a basic API flow. User signs up, we're gonna add that user to DB. User creates a team and team becomes owner. Someone from the team can become the owner. A team can create projects can create tasks assigned to them to users. We're going to build these type of basic features. This is a minimalistic project management application. If you implement that, then you can contribute to any open source or any project in your job in NestJS. Let's create a new project. You can use this command nest new. In the name of the API, your project, I'm gonna call project management API. Yes, I would like to use the npm. It's gonna install a couple of dependencies. You can see that my project has been created. I'm gonna open that project to my VS Code editor. I'm gonna navigate to my folder. Let's open into my VS Code editor. you will find the app controller, app module. This is our route, app service, just a simple hello world message. This is our main entry file. If you have worked with NestJS, you know the structure. Now I want to run that project. You can run this script, npm run start f. It's going to start the project in development mode. My application is running now. If I go to the localhost :3000, you should see the hello world. You can see the hello world. Now let's clean the structure. I don't need the app controller spec file. Get rid of that. I also don't need the app controller. And I also don't need the app service. Let's keep it simple. Now I have to configure the alias TypeScript. When you go to the app module, get rid of these dependencies, controllers, providers, and service. In the main.ts file, instead of importing by using this one, this looks good. My application is working fine. So if you go to the tsconfig.json file, I can rename the alias. You can find that in the paths directory, paths object. We don't have. What I can do, I can say paths should be. I'll teach you what I'm doing. You just need to do it right away. Modules. It will help me to import modules. Whenever I will write modules, it's gonna import that dependency from the modules package. Let's continue with control or config or common source common. Let's continue with config and utils and utils, right? What I am doing, let's say, instead of importing modules from providing the exact path, let's say import users module. We don't have user module, right? I'm just sharing what I did. User module from, instead of go to the modules, go to the users and find users module. What we have done, you can use that method, user module. All you need to provide the alias, modules, and user module, right? This is the short way to do this one. That is why we set the path, so TypeScript can configure that. If you need module, he will go to the modules directory. He will go to the common directory. If you need some file from common, if you need some file from config, he will go to the config. If you need some file from the util, he will go to there. Get rid of this one. So we have completed our setup part. Now we're gonna set up the env file and we will install NestJS config. We will configure the NestJS and we're gonna import database URL or add a database URL in the env file because Prisma needs the database URL. So you will learn how to set up the development configuration in NestJS and how to set up ESLint and Prettier in NestJS. Let's do that. I'm gonna create env, or I can use it here, touch.env. Please create .env.example. So two files have been created, env and env.example. This one is used for example. Let's set the example first. We need database URL, and I'm gonna set the default port, which is 3000, or I may need a secret. I'm just adding for demo purpose. Let's add the database URL. We will fix that when we will connect to the Postgres database. PostgreSQL. This syntax is followed by Prisma. We will fix that. I'm just providing the dummy database and dummy password. This one Postgres. Password is Postgres and localhost 5432, and our name of the DB project management -DB, and port should be 3000. JWT secret, you should provide your protected secret. You can use anything here. Our next step is to install NestJS config package. I'm going to do everything from my integrated terminal. Let's install the NestJS config. Go to the app module and import config module. I should register config module here. Config module.for root. I wanna use globally, so that's why I'm gonna set it to true. My env file path, it is .env. Remember, Prettier is giving me the Prettier. Now my code is fixed now. So if you want to use the config service, you can inject that. You will learn how to do that. I'll teach you how to import config service and use these properties. Now we're gonna add the ESLint Prettier dependencies. These should be dev dependencies. I'll call it d-t ESLint config Prettier. I need ESLint Prettier and Prettier. I also need to create the ESLint rc.js. Let's set up the rules for ESLint. Some couple of settings. Extends should be, it's an array. Please use the TypeScript plugin. Plugin should be TypeScript. ESLint recommended and plugin. I want to use Prettier prettier recommended. Next rules. Let's set up the rules. Oops. Rules should be prettier. Let's provide it give me the error. Our next step is to add .prettier_rc for prettier configuration. I think there is already prettier_rc file. I need couple of configurations. The first one is single quote is true. That will fine. Semi should be true. Semicolon. And print width is 100. Trailing comma, all I need that. So install prettier, and we set up the ESLint, and we set up the env configuration. I'll teach you how to import the config service and use or load configurations from .env.